my YouTube channel. I'm Rosie Henshaw. If you're new here, then welcome. Bring on the Christmas festivities. And if you're already existing, then we've already started. Oh, bingo weeks ago. Welcome back. We're going to be doing Christmas decorations crafts. I'm so excited now. I'm going to a Christmas fair on Saturday. I'm going to come home and be like, gal, I'm really sorry. I know I said I'm not going to put the Christmas tree up that early, but I'm putting it up tomorrow. A week earlier than I should do on the 1st of December, but how can you go to a Christmas market and then wait another week before you actually have Christmas in your own house? Yes, Bert? Do you want to come? Look, told you. This is Bertie, my little pet friend. You've been drinking. Look at your little wet beard. So yeah, you can't do that and then come back to festivities. So I thought, rather than trying to calm myself down, I've been trying not to go OTT with these videos, doing Christmas, because I'm doing Christmas, get excited with you guys, then coming away and then feeling really, really deflated because I can't really put anything up yet. So we're gonna get excited now. So grab yourself a nice little hot drink or cold drink, bring yourself a drink, any kind of drink, and some snacks, and we're gonna be doing some crafts. So, Bertie, what is the matter, mister? What is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? So, you want your toy, don't you? Where is it? Where's your toy? Where's your toy? One sec, guys. I've got to get Bertie's toy because he's not having none of it. Where is that toy? Oh, there he is! There he is! There he is! Come on, put your bed next to me. So you can chill. Come chill. Come chill next to mummy. Good boy. So let's get into the video. Sorry about that, guys. It's probably the worst intro ever today. So the first thing I went and bought, now I bought something that I knew we could all use. Now I normally make a salt dough to make dough decorations, and that would be 1 cup flour, plain flour, not self-rising, 1 cup flour, 1 cup salt, 1/2 cup of water. Make a dough. It goes hard, it doesn't go off. You can sort of bake it in the oven at 220 degrees for about 4 hours normally to proper crispy dry out to make clay, or so it's basically free if you've got the things in the cupboard. But what I thought I'm going to do is to save time and effort, and sometimes salt dough isn't always perfect and we're not going to be able to shape it and do things with it because it's going to take too long to cook. So you can do that if you want to do the free option, but you can get a 1kilogram packet of white clay, or they do terracotta colour. It was this big, but I've made some prepared to show you what they look like once they're dry, of self-air drying clay. Now this is the white that I picked up, and for 1 kilogram you get it for £4. You can buy it on Amazon if you don't have a works near you or a shop that stocks this clay. They do sell it on Amazon. For 1 kilogram is £5.70. You can get 1/2 kilogram for about £3 on there. I've used, I would say, nearly half, and I have got so many things made with it. So unless you're sort of scaling a house, model house with it, you're not going to need that much. So for £4, I thought, do you know what, it's a bit more dear than making your own salt dough. Definitely recommend making salt dough though. So, and we're going to make some clay ornaments, tags to go on presents, just really, really cute little things. So I'm going to put my basket in front of me, and I've got a little chopping board. You can just have a nice surface. I would recommend putting out some cling film or some foil underneath so that you don't get damaged, or like a chopping board. This will wash off, but so that you can see what I'm doing, I'm putting this in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of my clay out. So, making sure I've got my hair. And it comes out like a weird grey kind of colour, but this will dry pure brilliant white. It's kind of hard to get out, but once you start working in your hands in the heat, or from your hands, so I'm just going to get out. I'll try not to get too much out, and then what I will do is I will close it up properly because we don't want it to dry out. So always close this up, don't wait until you've sort of finished your, it comes with a little sticker to reseal it. Fold it up and put it in like an airtight container. That's what I've done just to keep it longevity of it. I'm going to roll it out, a bit like Play-Doh. It's a bit harder than Play-Doh. And I mean, you could do this in balls. It would take a hell of a lot longer to dry, air dry. The things that I made last night about 10 o'clock, and they was bone dried this morning. But I do have quite a warm house. Now you can go out and buy special clay moulding kits, but I'm going to show you things. I know when the Great British Bake Off goes all out, everyone goes and buys baking stuff. So you might already have this, or we're going to be really clever, because most of the baking stuff now Bake Off is over has gone in the sale, so you can easily just use that. Now you're going to get all fingerprints in it doing like that, but I like to flatten it out a little bit before I do with a rolling pin. And either with a rolling pin, or you can use like a can of soup, anything that's round that you can kind of roll. Got to stand up above it. Just roll this out. Now a good little tip to get this the same thickness either side is you can sellotape 2 little like skewers down on the board and roll your rolling pin over it, so it's never going to be, it's going to be the thickness of a skewer. You can do that with anything that you've got 2 of. 2 pencils. I'd recommend it being quite thin, not too thick, because otherwise it takes forever to dry and then you get more cracking. And once that's done with the rolling pin, I'm just going to smooth it out with one of these little cake smoothers that I got from Wilkinson's for 10p. So it's a little cake smoother, and then I'm just going to smooth it out. To be honest, this is me being lazy. You can smooth it out with your hand like that, and it actually gives it a better finish. So I'm just going to smooth it out. My hands are extremely dry from doing this last night. I didn't use this last night. I only used my hand, and my hands got a little bit dry. So you're going to need to put on a little bit of hand cream after. I think it was just where I kept washing my hands in between. So now at this stage, we can cut some shapes out. But what I thought was a really nice little idea to do, if you want things stuck into your clay, I've got like a little pot of sequins from the pound shop, and you get little stars or little dots. Now you can kind of like push these in to the material, like into the clay, and it comes out quite sparkly. So what you'd end up with is something that looks like this when it's dry. Little sparkles, disco sparkles in it, which look really, really cute. So what I'm going to do is, I've just got some cookie cutters. Now these come in a pack of 4 from the pound shop. So I got a star, a gingerbread mound, a circle ball, and a love heart. And it did actually come with a stocking as well, but the stocking was quite rusty up the side. I didn't see that through the packet. So what I'm going to do is a heart, because I think a heart shape's just nice and generic. Now these can be so beautiful. I'm going to just press that down. Now one thing I will say is if you've got like a hard piece of card or a thin plastic spatula or a ruler, something like that, I would just sort of, while it's on there, sort of patting the edges, because sometimes you get left with a little bit of like a fuzz. To be honest, most clay, once it's dry, you can give it a light little sand, and then it smooths it right out anyway on the edges. And then you end up with a nice little heart. Now, I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to put it back down, because what I thought would be a really lovely idea is we can make some tree decorations. So I'm going to get a little skewer, and all I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it on this so that you can see what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is, wherever I want my hole to be to put the ribbon through, I'm just going to poke it with a skewer and then just wiggle it about a little bit. And it makes a nice little circle. We can put our ribbon through it and hang it on the tree. Now, while this is the perfect stage, while this is soft, if you want this to look like a knit print, you could just put like a little bit of wool over the top of this and then roll it out while you're rolling it out, and you get the pattern of the knitted, so it looks like it's wool. You could do that with lace, you could do that with anything that you like. But you could also use, at Christmas time, in the pound shop, they have loads of these stamps. So these are stamps that you can use to do for your presents. And they're little lettered ones that you can do names. I got this packet in my, and no, I didn't get this one from pound shop. I got this from the Works, this one, from the same place I got the clay from. And you just get these little rubber stamps. And this one says Merry and Bright. And they're little rubber stamps. And I'm just going to press it on the front. Press it down nice and gently, enough that it actually leaves an indentation, but not that much that you can see the square outside of the stamp. And then peel it off. Look. Merry and Bright. They look really, really cute. Now, you can do that and then you can paint them. They'll look lovely. I'm going to put that to one side. What is also really cute, if you want to have customised Christmas decorations, but you don't want to spend loads of money on buying them, you can actually stamp letters into them. Now these, I've done like an A for Archie, I've done a star one, I've cut in an M in one of the hearts for Millie, my daughter, And these are really cute. They're just going to be hung on the tree, look really, really sweet. You can sort of like go in the actual letter with like a metallic pen, or you can paint everything else but that. You can paint them all over. Or you can put little stars and, sorry, lifting it up now. The little sequins and stuff in there, make little gingerbread. Now, the reason why this has got 2 holes is because what I've done with this one and this one, I've pressed in a little Santa stamp, so it says it's delivered to Santa. And I made 2 holes in exactly the same way. I'm gonna actually make one. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do with them. So they're Christmas tree decorations, the other ones. What I thought we could do is if I roll this out a little bit more, give me a little bit more of a surface area. Now, if you don't want to go out spending money on cookie cutters and things like that, you can just use lids and things like that that you want to use. Now, I've got like this sort of like, I think it's like an icing pump, but I like the size of the circle that's on it, so I'm just going to use that. You can use a lid, jar lids, bowls, anything you want to use to cut out circles or any shapes that you like. Or you could alternatively put something on top of the clay and cut around it with a sharp knife to get your pattern, because if it goes rough around the edges, you can always just get, once it's completely dry, go over it with a little bit of sandpaper around the edges and make it smooth. Now I've just made like a little ring tag, which I think is really, really cute, little circle. And this is what I'm going to do with this. Now I could use one of these little stamps, or I could use these from Wilkinson's. Now these from Wilkinson's are actually like plastic cookie cutters with letters and names on them. And these were £2 for these. And we'll do an M again, just for Millie. I'm going to press it in, nice and tight. Now, I think they look really, really cute. Now, what I thought with this is you could make 1 hole in this, tie a little bit of wire in it or a little bit of ribbon, and tie this, once it's dry, paint it in gold or anything that you're having your table, your Christmas table, and you could actually put ribbon on this and tie this around the bottom of your wine glasses so people know where they're sitting. It's a little tag so people know where they're sitting. It comes on a table plan, whose glass is who. So you can make these really small, or you could get little stamps and write the whole name. You could, with a sharp pencil or a skewer, actually write M's and stuff into it yourself. You don't actually have to have stamps. It just takes a little bit more longer and a little bit more time. But they have all of these things in the pound shop. They always have loads of stamps. A lot of the time they have letter stamps as well. And yeah, and all of this stuff is orderable online from Amazon as well, because I thought I want to be able to, because I know some people that watch are like from America and their pound shops are different. So these are just really, really cute with the 1 hole. Now the reason I want to do a 2nd hole at the bottom is because I thought this would also be a really cute idea to wrap your presents. So let's move this out of the way now, because now we're going to get into sort of like decorating type ones once they're dry. Oh, and also you could even with a knife cut out actual letters, put a little hole in the corner, so for Millie, and I thought these were really cute. Now all of my presents I wrap rustically in brown paper and then just decorate them. So I've just wrapped up a book that was in the cupboard, and the reason I've left like 2 holes on the gingerbread man is because I thought this would be such a cute idea. I'm going to get some ribbon. I've got some red and white polka dot that I bought in bundle from the haberdashery, and I'm just going to thread it through back way first, push it back through on the front. Now even on the gingerbread man I could have stamped a letter for someone for their present, but I thought, how cute is this going to look on the front of a present as a tag? Just absolutely stunning. This is such a cheap, like £4 for a massive pack of that. The amount of tags that you could make, you wouldn't even be able to get the amount of tags in a place like Pound Shop being the paper ones. And these just look so much more expensive. And if you want to have loads of Christmas decorations on your tree, but you don't want to spend loads of money, the amount of decorations that you can make, I'm just going to show you in a second the actual sheer amount of stuff that I've made just from using less than half a bag of clay. I'm just going to cut the ends of the ribbon. Neatly, Rosie, please. There's my little berries. How cute does that look? You could add some of the little berry picks from the pound shop on top. That is so cute. And even with like a Sharpie, I've got some like gold Sharpies in here. I've got a little bronze one as well. You could just use these. These are like the cheap Sharpies. I've got these from the pound shop. And you can just write like the letters on. So like an M. You could just write their names on them. Just so cute. You could draw little dots on them instead. A couple of the little dots. I ended up banging out when I tipped them upside down, so you could draw a few on them. That gold's a bit of a funny gold. I think if you got a proper Sharpie it'd be less yellow, but that's just so cute. So you can make little present tags. And even with the kids ones, like for instance, these little kids ones I put on delivered to Santa, so it looks like a proper little Santa letter with a little bauble at the side. And I've just got like a little tester pot of red paint. Farrow & Boy, I've got it for £1 in B&Q. Most tester pots are £1, you just a little pot of red. Or use paints that you've already got, colour it in with pencils, felt tips. If I can get the paint pot open, we will attempt this. Right, if you just get the smallest amount of paint on your brush, like almost dry, and just like try and dust over this very lightly, really lightly, it brings out the pattern of the stamp and looks really rustic and vintage. And then it starts to pick out all the letters delivered by Santa. And you just keep going over this. Try not to put too much paint on, just go over a little piece at a time. And these just look so sweet. Now, by all means, you could tie a bit of ribbon to this once it's painted and hang it from your tree, like a little Santa's letter, go over it in gold, do all the outlines, the decor, but also glue it on to your parcel like a little vintage stamp. It would just look so cute. If the gingerbread man weren't on there, how cute do these look? So you can make your own little present tags. I've made some different shape ones just to give you a few ideas. Oh, I've got red on this one because my thumb, sorry. Gary's gonna have a red one. So like for instance, my mum's present, she's got a little box. So I thought M for mum, she can tie it on, cut a little square out and stamp it. And then with a knife, I just cut a little rectangle and then done the little fishtails on the end. So you could even make bunting, you could make loads of these and then hang this all on your tree. It would look so cute. This was a G on this, but I've pressed it with a red. So you can get really inventive with these little tags, make different shapes. Now, if you make presents that are homemade, yet again, another little stamp set that I got from Wilkinson's for £2. You put the little rubber stamps on the end of this. One of them says homemade. So now you could write this into it yourself or paint it on homemade, done a little button. So on the front of a gift, or if you made some homemade cookies, you could get a little jar, stick this on the top or tie it on with a ribbon, homemade. I think that's just such a sweet little idea. A £4 pot of clay. Also another thing as well, if you wanted to make Christmas decorations for children or just decorations to hang out all year round as ornaments, my son is super into space at the moment, my youngest. So I just, with a cookie cutter, cut out a circle, then again cut it halfway through, made a little moon. With a star cookie cutter, made a star and I just dimpled it with a skewer. And then cut out another circle and just with a skewer went over it ever so lightly, creating little circles. And you could hang this all together and make like a little space decoration. It's just such a cute little idea for a £4 pack of clay. So these are the patterns I ended up doing with the little rubber stamps that come in the pack from the works. I done the Jingle Bell one, Jingle Bells. I'm going to highlight all these out. Merry and Bright. 'Tis the season to be jolly. This is how many I made, like loads. Merry Christmas. I made a little star one where I put like the stars, I put the star pattern on top from the cookie cutter. I overlaid it to make the patterns in it and then put some glittery stars. Ho, ho, ho. You can really go inventive with all of these. They just look really, really sweet. Let it snow. And I'm just going to show you, you can just tie these up with any ribbons and they just look really stunning. So I've just got some cheap green ribbon. This is from the haberdashery last year as well. and just tie these on. Now, if you're going for like a real Scandinavian look, these are really, really cute. Should have probably made the holes slightly bigger. I'm realising this now. Don't forget, you can make salt dough, and it is quite fun for the children to make as well, if you want to make the salt dough recipe instead. But like I said, it's very mucky. It takes about 10 minutes to mix it, so the video would just be ultra long. And if I've already got it mixed up ready, who's to say that I actually even done it? So I just thought it's easier, and if you want to just quickly buy some. And sometimes salt dough goes bowed, it bends, sometimes it doesn't cook properly. I've had a few little accidents with salt dough in the past. So it is cheap. If you don't already have flour and salt, then you've got to go out and buy it, and it's half the price of clay that's already made up, and you can store that again later. Pull that round. How cute, just like little decorations that you can hang from the tree. I mean, you could bow that. I'm just going to cut that off, the end, because you can see that poking through. But you could do this with a little bit of jute. Hang these all from the tree. How cute are these little decorations? The hearts are definitely my favourite, and I think if you tied up the hearts with like some red and white polka dot, you could, without even having to paint these, you can use different coloured ribbons to sort of bring out the colours from your colour scheme. But it just looks so sweet. Hung up, and these are brilliant for the kids to make as well, really good ideas. But you can paint these as well. And one thing that I thought was a really good idea, let me get the bronze one out and hope that's a better colour, is even rather than just painting these, you could pick up the edges and just go over with a pen or a Sharpie or a little bit of paint all around the edges to sort of pick out, oh, I've gone on it, because I'm the worst crafter in the world. But when they go on the edges, let me try and, because I'm trying to do it quickly so you can see, but at the same time I'm not doing a very good job, so let me just quickly do it. I'm saying let me like you're just going to be like, no, absolutely not, carry on. Carry on talking, Rosie. But you can do around the edges, and it just looks really cute, and if it's gold it looks really, really sweet. And you can just like polka dot these yourself. You can write sweet little messages on them. They end up looking super sweet. I'm going to try and cover up my mistake by polka dotting it. But they just look super, super cute, and you can hang these from your tree. And yeah, I just thought they was just such a nice little idea. And then also, if you do write letters, you could always get the pen and go inside the letters. This is like a tricky job to do. But these things you're always going to have for baking after. You're always going to have to sort of like keep. It's not a very wasteful thing. This is something you can make year in, year out, and make it a really sort of like tradition for you to do with the children or the grandchildren, or just by yourself or with friends. Make it a little tradition. At the beginning of December or the end of November, you make a new decoration every year, and I just think it's super sweet. And one sec, nearly done the star. How cute does that look? Just on a little present, that's going to look so, so sweet. And like the space ones are really cute, because if you do these and wrap it on like navy wrapping paper, you could just write little messages. This is what my family, we all say. I've always been told this since I was a baby. And this would just be really cute, because I tell my kids this all the time. Love you to the moon and back. Like, and tie this on a little present, and with all the little moon sort of ones on presents. You can just theme this how you want. You can get unicorn shaped cookie cutters and cut out unicorn ones. You can literally, the sky's the limit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It isn't like me being technically like, oh wow, this is amazing. It's just general stuff. I understand that, but I just had to let you in, because I just thought all these decorations are just going to look so nice with ribbons hung from my dining room tree mixed with some gold baubles. I thought it'd be a really, really cute idea. I was going to go onto the video and show you some present wrapping ideas, but I'm 24 minutes in and all I've showed you is that I can put a cookie cutter in some clay. But now you know it's available if you want to make some decorations yourself. and if you want to use the salt dough recipe. But it's 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of plain flour and half a cup of water, and that will make your dough so you don't have to apply the clay. But sometimes it goes perfect and sometimes it doesn't. Also as well, just want to let you know, if you get any posh perfume at Christmas, save your ribbons off of the bottles. Like last year I got a bottle of Chanel perfume and I kept the ribbon off the Chanel perfume bottle, because if you like a little bit of designer and you want to make a nice little circle one, you could do a little letter C that way, a letter C that way, put your ribbon on, make a little Chanel. If you're into designer, I'm not really a designery girl, but I just thought for people that are, because I know sometimes people have pictures of perfume bottles and stuff like that, then it would go really nice. You can use silvers, you can paint these silver, you can spray paint these. They're really, really durable, they're hard, they're just hard clay now. You can make bowls, you can make cups, you can make whatever you want. But oh, and that's another one. But I hope, do you know what? I know people don't always watch this to the end, and this is kind of the best one. If you roll out a big piece of clay and get your baby or your child to press their hand or foot into it, it's the most beautiful gift that you can give to sort of grandparents, other parents, just lovely little gifts of friends. And they keepsakes, you can put them in photo frames and keep them forever. So I'm going to let you go. I'm Rose Henshaw. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.